All right, I don't do a lot of reviews, but I hadn't seen much information about this particular stock out there, so I picked one up. I might as well get one. This is the Boyds AT-One thumbhole stock, and it's inletted for Savage Impulse Predator model. And another guy that shoots an Impulse Predator kind of turned me on to this thing. As far as I know, this is pretty much your only, at the moment, pretty much your only option for an aftermarket stock for the Savage Impulse. And again, this is Boyd's hardwood stock, so it is wood, but it's got a couple of nice features to it. For one thing, this is their AT-One model, so that means it's just adjustable. So like the comb height here is adjustable. If I push in this button, I can raise and lower this comb height, which is nice. And then also the length of pull is adjustable. That's just this button here. You can move this part, in and out. It's a little stiff here. Come on. Okay. Well, there you go. That's what it looks like. And you can move it quite a ways out. Some other features it has, sling stud at the back. There's two in the front. I'm probably going to take those out. Okay, I'm definitely going to take those out. And I'm going to put a rail on it. I had this on the old factory stock, the Salmon River Solutions. It's nice because it has both pick rail for my bipod and Arca for my tripod. And it's even got a little sling stud on the back. So that should go pretty much right there. But anyway, looking this over, I mean, initially I'm pretty impressed with it. It's got good, fit and finish to it. The bottom metal, or mostly polymer in this case, fits right in there. It's nice and snug. Everything dropped right in. I didn't have to do any fitting or chiseling or sanding on this thing. Although, I will say that the barrel channel was a little tight for me. And that's probably only because I have an aftermarket barrel on my Impulse, and it's a little bit heavier profile. It's a little bit thicker than the factory barrel. I would be willing to bet that if I had the factory barrel on there, that it would drop right in and it would free float just fine. Mine still fits in there. It's just a little tight right through the barrel channel. It's not free floating, but I can easily fix that. I'm going to use the old socket and sandpaper trick. So you start with, you got to find one that's the right size. This one just fits in there. You wrap some sandpaper around it and just run it back and forth. You widen out that channel. You might have to start with a smaller one and then go a little bit wider just to get a little bit of room right in the barrel channel, and that should be fine. One of the extra options that I sprung for was the pillar bedding, which you can see here. All they do is they put an aluminum pillar where the rear action bolt goes. They only do it in the rear, probably because it's really thin here at the front. I don't know if you can see how thin it is. There you go. It's pretty dang thin, which is a little concerning considering this thing is wood. On the original stock, it's really, for a factory stock, it's really pretty nice. It's got a lot of nice features. So this whole piece in here is aluminum. I don't know, you'd probably call that like a mini chassis. It's embedded into the stock. But this whole piece here is aluminum, which is, obviously quite a bit stronger than wood. And also there's a pillar in the rear. It's got little rubber grip inserts. You can exchange out the comb. It comes with a bunch of different comb pieces and spacers for the stock to adjust the length of pull. So it is adjustable, although it takes a bit of doing. It's not instant like you have here with the Boyds, but it really is a pretty nice stock for a factory stock. The only thing I don't like about it is the grip. I'm going to be running this off the tripod quite a bit. And so just being able to grip it like this, like pretty kind of similar to you know, an AR grip angle. This one's probably a little bit more swept, but anyway, it's just a little bit nicer for running off a tripod. One thing I'll mention is that this thing is pretty much entirely ambidextrous. There's no difference that I can tell in the grip. Feels about the same, right or left-handed. Also, because it's inletted for the impulse, it doesn't need a cut for the bolt, because it's a straight pull and it pulls back and forth right here, or in my case on the left side. There is this little cutout here, but that's for the bolt release, and that doesn't move when you change the bolt from side to side. So for my purposes, nice left-handed rifle stock, or ambidextrous rifle stock, and I think it's going to work really well, especially running off a tripod. So, but a couple things I'm going to do. Of course, I'm going to put the rail on. Also, I got to open up this barrel channel just a little bit to get my thicker barrel free floating again. I don't think I'll do it right away. It's because I got a hunt coming up and I don't really have time. But I'm probably going to bed my action into this stock. So, you know, there's all kinds of videos about bedding. Maybe I'll do one when I get around to doing it for this particular model. But basically, goop a bunch of epoxy in here, and then set the action down in there, let it dry. Of course, you have to have a release agent on the action because you don't want that sticking. And then you pull it out, and then you got a nice even layer across everything. And I think, you know, especially in the recoil lug area and this thin piece right here, I'm going to want an extra layer, some extra strength there. And that way, you know, it should be more consistent too when I torque these, the action bolts down. But other than that, I don't know what else to say. I like it so far. I may have an update once I use it for hunting a little bit and shoot it. Here it is fully assembled. I sanded a little bit, sanded out the barrel channel a little bit, and we can see now that we got free floating all the way down to past the barrel nut to the recoil lug. So that's good. I also installed my rail. That was pretty easy. You just take this screw out, and it's underneath the rail now, but you can take that other screw out, and then this whole plastic end piece pops off. And then you can take the sling studs out, and they're just threaded 1032, and I happen to have plenty of 1032 screws around, so just found some, I think they're 5/8 inch was the right length, and just pop those in, and looks pretty good. So the only thing that I'm not happy about anymore is the choice of my barrel color. I'm probably going to repaint that at some point, maybe this summer. Probably just go with a flat black. It'll look a lot better with the rest of the hardware here, but overall, I'm pretty happy. You know, like I said, except for the barrel channel, which was just due to my my thicker, heavier profile aftermarket barrel, everything dropped right in and fit nice. You know, I function tested a little bit. I haven't fired it yet, but it all seems to be fine. So I'm liking it so far. I may have some more thoughts after I've run it off a tripod for a while. All right, I just wanted to do a quick update after I've had this my Savage Impulse in this Boyds stock for a couple of weeks now, and I've used it a couple times hunting, and so far I really like it. It shoots really well. It's hard to say how well or if it's better or worse really than the original stock, because I have my thermal scope on it right now. So I haven't really shot any groups at 100 yards. Of course, I re-zeroed it with the thermal on, but it's hard to tell groups because it's not nearly as precise as like a daytime scope. But I will tell you that I did shoot coyote at 260 yards. It was right on the money, and a few more closer than that. So it's been good. A couple of things that I did is pop this off. I made some changes to the front end. So I pulled this whole cap off. So this bolt and this bolt actually go down into the stock, and there's steel inserts in there that they thread into, and then this whole cap actually pops off and it's replaceable. I think they make a different like Target style front end for it. But anyway, then there's like T-nuts also in here and here, and that's where the sling studs were. And these are all threaded with 1032 threading. So I just pulled these out and put my Arca rail on the back. That's for my tripod. On the front, went with the Picatinny. And in my case, I didn't have any like slotted ones laying around, so I just found one where the hole spacing was really close. It wasn't perfect, but it was really close to the original hole spacing, because I didn't want to drill any more holes in this thing than I had to, which ended up being 0, which was perfect. So anyway, I found one where it was really close, and then I just used a Dremel to notch this out a little bit further so I could get this bolt over a little bit further and increase that hole spacing, and now it lines up perfect. I have Loctite Blue, the removable thread locker on all the bolts, and they've held up just fine over a couple weeks, and using it hunting, it's been good. And also, because I switched to rails, I don't have any more sling studs. I had to do something else for a sling, so I just went with this Magpul mounts on the rail, and then it has a QD socket for those push button style sling studs. And on the back, you can't really see it. I have it wrapped up in this vet wrap because I didn't want it rattling around and making noise. But it's one of these things. I believe this is from Grove Tech. Yep. And this just goes on the sling stud. And then you snap it on there, and then you have a QD socket for the push button style. And that's worked out really well so far. The only other thing I did, as you can see, I put this is like hockey stick tape. I wrapped that around the grip because I prefer a really grippy type grip. And that looks a little ghetto, but it works really nice. And yeah, so far, really enjoying this stock. If you're looking to upgrade for your Savage Impulse, I would definitely recommend it. Something that's a little bit better for prone shooting, running off a tripod. And I'm running this left-handed. It's definitely fully ambidextrous. And of course, they make these the same stock for a lot of other actions as well. So you might want to look into it.